Assalamu alaikum class. In this video we are going to start exercise 1.5 continuity. Continuity stands for smoothness of the graph. Smoothness means that if a function is running smoothly without any jump or without any gap, then we say that the function is a continuous function or the function is having continuity. For example, this function is a continuous function because in the graph of this function you can see that there is no gap or no jump. So this is a graph of a continuous function. And as far as the mathematical steps are concerned, so we choose a point C within the domain of this function, and you can see that the functional value is f of c over here, and when we want to calculate its approximated value or the limiting value, then from the left hand side as well as from the right hand side has the same value. So it means that if the limit exists or the two-sided limit exists and it has the same value as of the functional value, then we will say that the function is a continuous function. Why this condition is necessary? If we check out this graph, then you can see that this is not a continuous graph. Why this one is not a continuous? Because we are having a jump in this. That is why this is named as a jump discontinuity, because at point C you can observe a jump in the graph which shows that it is not a continuous graph, because as we are running smoothly till this point, but now there is a sudden jump or gap over here. That's why this one is not continuous at point C. So as far as the mathematical method is concerned, you can see that when I approach C from left hand side, the graph is having value this, and if I approaching C from the right hand side, the graph is going to have a different value. So it means that the two-sided limit will not exist in this case. So whenever we want to check the continuity mathematically, and if the two-sided limit does not exist at some point, then we will say that the graph cannot be continuous at that point, and this continuity is named as jump discontinuity. Next one is named as infinite discontinuity. You can see that the two-sided limit exists in this case, but it is an infinite limit and it can never be equal to the functional value, because functional value can never be infinite. It is always a finite number. In this case the two-sided limit exists but it is infinite. You can also check out the graph. So this one is infinite discontinuity. The next one is the removable discontinuity, when the limit exists but it is not equal to the functional value. You can see that there is a hole in the graph. So at point C the function is not continuous. So whenever the limiting value is not equal to the functional value, you will see that we will observe a removable discontinuity at this point. So here is a mathematical proper definition of a function to be continuous. So a function f is said to be continuous at point C if f of c is defined. Number 2, the two-sided limit exists, that is limit x approaches to c f of x exists. And the number 3, which is most important, that the limit x approaches to c f of x must be equal to f of c, that the functional value must be equal to the limiting value. So here we are having an example in which we are given with a function and we have to check that if the function is continuous at point x is equal to 2 or not. So here we are given with the function f of x is equal to x square minus 4 over x minus 2. Now you can see that its domain is set of all real numbers except 2. It means f of 2 is not defined in this case. That's why the function is not continuous at x is equal to 2. Then we are having a second function, g of x is equal to x square minus 4 over 2 if x is not equal to 2, and 3 if x is equal to 2. So it is a piecewise defined function and its domain is set of all real numbers. So number 1, we will evaluate the functional value, which is g of 2, that is 3. Then we will go towards the second step in which the functional value or the limiting value must be the same. So the limiting value is limit x approaches to 2 g of x. We will use this result because we know that in case of limit the value is very close to 2 but not equal to 2. So that's why we are using this definition over here. So x square minus 4 over x minus 2, that is 4, because the functional value is not equal to the limiting value. That's why the function is not continuous at x is equal to 2. Then we are having the third function, h of x is equal to x square minus 4 over x minus 2, x not equal to 2, the same one, but now it is equal to 4 for x is equal to 2. Obviously its domain is going to be set of all real numbers. The functional value is 4 in this case and limiting value is also 4. So this function is continuous at x is equal to 2 because limiting value is equal to the functional value in this case. Next we have continuity on an interval. So continuity, that was we have discussed, it was continuity at one point, but now we are going to discuss continuity on an interval. So if we are having an open interval a to b, then we will say that the function is continuous on the open interval a to b if it is continuous at every point of the open interval a to b, and if the function is continuous on the open interval minus infinity to infinity, that is on the real line, then we will say that the function is continuous everywhere. Now come to the closed intervals. If we are having a closed interval a to b, or the semi-closed intervals a to b, or minus infinity to b closed from b, or a to infinity closed from a, then you can see that we are not able to find out the two-sided limits at the endpoints, because we cannot find out the left hand side limit for a, and we cannot find out the right hand side limit of b. So in such cases, what we are going to do, if we want to check the continuity at point b, we will find out the left hand side limit, that the left hand side limit must be equal to the functional value, as it is shown in this case, that the left hand side limit will be equal to the functional value, so the function is continuous at x is equal to b. But if we are talking about the side a, or the point a, or the end point a, then we are not able to find out the left hand side limit, we can only find out the right hand side limit. So right hand side limit must be equal to the functional value, but in this case it is not same, so the function is not continuous at point x is equal to a. So this is the case when we are having the closed intervals, that then in that cases we will be find out only one sided limit with the same condition. So a function f is continuous on the open interval a to b if it is continuous at every point of the open interval a to b, and a function is continuous on the closed interval a to b if it is continuous on the open interval a to b. Then number 2, if it is continuous at point x is equal to a, that is the right hand side limit must be equal to the functional value at a, and it is continuous at x is equal to b, that is the left hand side limit must be equal to the functional value at b. So here we are having an example to what you can say about continuity of the function f of x is equal to square root of 9 minus x square. So at first we will find out its domain. So its domain, for domain we will put 9 minus x square should be greater than or equal to 0, because we know that in case of square root it cannot be defined for the negative numbers, that's why we have put it to be the non-negative. Then according to the sign chart, it is going to be positive on minus 3 to 3, so it means the domain of the function is going to be closed interval minus 3 to 3. Now we will check its continuity on its domain, that is on the closed interval minus 3 to 3. So for this we will have three conditions. So at first condition, it must be continuous on the open interval minus 3 to 3. So for this we are choosing an arbitrary point from this interval. We know that in case of polynomials, the functional value is always equal to the limiting value. So in limiting value is going to be square root of 9 minus e square, and functional value is also equal to square root of 9 minus e square. So it is continuous at every point of the open interval minus 3 to 3, because it is an arbitrary point from this interval. So it is continuous on the open interval minus 3 to 3. Now come to the second condition, that we are talking about the end point minus 3. So we will find out the right hand side limit must be equal to the functional value at minus 3. So for right hand side we are having square root of 9 minus x square, that is 0, its functional value is also 0. So f is right continuous at x is equal to minus 3. And for the endpoint 3, we must be able to find out the left hand side limit, that must be equal to the functional value. So it is again continuous at x is equal to 3. So it means that our function is continuous on its domain, which is minus 3 to 3 closed interval. Next we are having a theorem which states that if we are having two functions f and g, then all the operations will also be continuous. That if a function f and g are continuous, then f plus g, f minus g, f into g, f over g will all the functions will be continuous too. We all know that the polynomials are a continuous function. So a polynomial is continuous everywhere, that is on the whole domain, and a rational function is continuous at every point where the denominator is non-zero and has discontinuity at the point where the denominator is 0. Obviously if the denominator is 0, then it means that the functional value is not defined at that point, and if the functional value is not defined, then the function cannot be continuous. That's why we are saying that the rational function has discontinuity at the point where the denominator is 0. Composition of two continuous function is always continuous. Here we are having question number 2 from the exercise. In this we are given with a graph, and we have to check the continuity on the given interval. intervals. So the first interval is the closed interval 1 2 3. So you can see that it is not continuous in the closed interval 1 2 3 because it is not continuous at point x is equal to 2. Then we are having open interval. Again, it is not continuous on the open interval 1 2 3 because of this point 2. Then we are having point option C, or the part C, in which we are having the closed interval 1 to 2. So it is not continuous on the closed interval 1 to 2 because it is not continuous on the end point 2, but it is continuous on the open interval 1 to 2 because for open interval 1 to 2, 1 and 2 are not included, but it is continuous within the intervals. So it is continuous on the open interval 1 to 2. Again, for closed interval 2 to 3 is not continuous, but for open interval 2 to 3 it will be continuous function. Next we have question number 6. We are given with the function f of x and g of x. You can clearly observe that the function f and g both are discontinuous at x is equal to 0. That's why their any operation will also be discontinuous. For example, f of minus x will also be discontinuous at this point. Mod of g of x will also be discontinuous at this point because f and g itself are not continuous functions. Next we have question number 14, and we have to find out the value of x at which f is not continuous. So we have recently discussed that for the rational function, the rational function will be discontinuous at the point where the denominator is getting 0. So the denominator is x square minus 4 and it is 0 at plus 2 and minus 2. So these are the two numbers or the two values of the variable where the function is going to be discontinuous. Next we have question number 18. So we are having a rational function and it will be discontinuous at x is equal to 0 and x is equal to minus 4. Next we have question number 21, which is basically a piecewise defined function. So you can see that we are having two definitions. One is a polynomial, so it is continuous everywhere, and 7 plus 16 by x is discontinuous at x is equal to 0, which is not a part of this section. So it means that there may be a chance of discontinuity only at the point of break, that is at x is equal to 4. So we will check its discontinuity at x is equal to 4. So functional value is 11. We will use this definition over here because of the sign of equality here. Then limit x approaches to 4 from right hand side is going to be 11, and for left hand side it is 11. So it means that the functional value is equal to the functional limiting value. So there is no point of discontinuity in this case. Next we have question number 30, and we have to find out the value of this variable for which the function is going to be continuous. Again, the discontinuity could occur at only point x is equal to minus 3. So we will check the condition according to this. So limit x approaches to minus 3 from left hand side is going to be k over 9, and from right hand side is going to be 0. Now functional value is also 0. So if we want the function to be continuous at x is equal to minus 3, so the functional value must be equal to the limiting value, that is the left hand side limit must be equal to the right hand side limit. So imposing this condition that left hand side limit is equal to right hand side limit, we get k is equal to 0. So here is a b part of the function in which we are given with the function 9 minus x square for x greater than or equal to 0 and k by x square for x less than 0, and we will check its continuity at x is equal to 0. Obviously when we approach 0 from left hand side is going to be infinite, so it means that this function can never be continuous at x is equal to 0 for any value of k, because we cannot have infinite limits, and we have discussed that in case of infinite limits the function cannot be continuous. So it is not always necessary to find out the value of k. There may be a chance when the function cannot be continuous. Thank you.